Here's a good look at the capital of Idaho here in Boise on October 1st. But the Broncos come first on fall Saturdays in Boise, as in the unbeaten and fourth-ranked Broncos. Nevada's Hall of Fame coach Chris Ault did beat Boise State a year ago, but no head coach has ever defeated Kellen Moore twice. Speaking of two, Boise State 70-2 here at home since 2000, and planning to move to 71-2 at the end of this afternoon. Boise State head coach Chris Peterson looked at us in his office yesterday and said, revenge is not a factor today. In fact, the word revenge has not been used all week. But even he would have to admit, because of his team's #4 ranking and 33 consecutive wins here at home, and the fact that they were upset at Nevada a year ago, this game does have a little extra meaning and a whole lot of national interest. And oh, by the way, Heisman hopeful, the senior Kellen Moore, also performing today, and he got started just as we all expected he would. Week 1 in the big game at Georgia, 28 for 34. How's that? 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and an impressive 35-21 victory. Wins followed at Toledo and also at home against Tulsa last week. He's completing 79% of his passes, and it's not just the individual numbers that come easy to Kellen Moore. Wins rolling right along. Already past Peyton Manning. Look at this company he's keeping. Andy Dalton up next. Colt McCoy in his sights. Later this month, he just may become the all-time winningest quarterback in the history of Division I football. I know, Sean King, that you can appreciate everything that he has done so far this season and in his career. What do you like the best about Kellen Moore?
He's been really good. In Kellen Moore, Chris Peterson has an autopilot at quarterback. All he has to do is punch in the correct coordinates, sit back, and enjoy. I think Kellen Moore is the best player in college football.
Nevada coach Chris Ault had a Kellen Moore-type performer a year ago in Colin Kaepernick. He's now a San Francisco 49er. With him gone to the NFL, what's the quarterback situation look like without him?
Last week, they inserted freshman quarterback Cody Fajardo. He's not available today. Tyler Lantrip, a fifth-year senior, will have to find a way to end and complete some of these Nevada offensive drives with points.
Hey, Chris Peterson can tell his team, he can tell us it's not about revenge today, but because of the upset, the way the game played out last November, we remember very well Nevada's upset win over Boise State.
Kyle Brodsman to win it. No good! We're going to overtime! Unbelievable! He missed it again! Snap down, here it comes. It's good! Nevada wins! The Boise dream is over. Everybody is on the field.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Boise as the calendar turns from September to October, and the fourth-ranked Boise State Broncos locked hands, united, ready to take the blue turf. Victories over Georgia in the Georgia Dome, and also at Toledo and at home against Tulsa, now behind the 3-0 and fourth-ranked Boise State Broncos and the Nevada Wolfpack dead in their sights. Remember, a year ago, it was the only loss that Boise State suffered in overtime at Nevada. Wolfpack not off to quite the strong start their opponents are today. Nevada losing at Oregon, then beating San Jose State before losing against Texas Tech a week ago, coming into this game at 1-2, this after going 13-1 a season ago. Nevada without major players from a year ago at quarterback Colin Kaepernick, and also at running back Vi Tawa, and a third-round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, the active leader. He graduated as the active leader in tackles for loss, Dante Moak, all behind them. This is your 2011 Nevada Wolfpack at Boise State. Anthony Herron is the third member of our team, and he joins us now from the sideline.
Paul, I know you and Sean, you two former quarterbacks, you've been really excited all week about watching Kellen Moore work his magic today, and with good reason. But I am equally as giddy about watching one of the most productive defensive fronts in all of college football put in work down here on the Smurf turf today. And they're led by defensive tackle Billy Wynn, and off the edge, they've got Shea McClellan. They're actually number 2 right now as far as active sack duels, with 29.5 career sacks between the two of them. And they employ what I like to call a group rush mentality, where no one individual gets featured consistently because they all find different ways to be so effective. And one little separate note here about the Smurf turf. I just found this out a moment ago. It's known that the Smurf turf actually reflects light in a separate way, and it's over 90 degrees on the field today. Now, each team has played in warmer climates so far this season, mid to upper 90s, but as far as today's game being low to mid 90s expected after kickoff, the Smurf turf apparently may play a factor in the conditioning of these two teams.
Kind of a rare matchup here between Nevada and Boise State. It's actually a non-conference game. In past years, it had been a WAC game. Next year, it'll be a Mountain West Conference game, as Nevada will join the Mountain West Conference. But today, it's 1-2 Nevada at 3-0 Boise State, number 4 Broncos, in a non-conference matchup, and a bit of a rematch of one of last year's best games in college football, when Nevada found a way to defeat Boise State. Its only defeat in overtime in Reno. Boise State did win the toss. They deferred, and Nevada will get the ball. What are you looking forward to seeing here with this Nevada offense, Sean King?
I think they have to come out initially and establish their rushing attack. Chris Alt wants his quarterback, Tyler Lantrip, to really be involved today in that Nevada rushing offense.
Nevada's first game, or they've gone 154 games without a kickoff return for a touchdown. Back deep, Duke Williams is number 20. He is also a starting safety. Wolfpack offense will begin 1st and 10 on the 20. Veteran group up front, led by the left guard, number 75, Chris Barker. As far as backs and wide receiver, the senior, number 15, Rashard Matthews, is the leading receiver for Tyler Lantrip. As you mentioned, Sean, earlier at the top of the broadcast, yards have been coming pretty easy for this team. It's just the points that have been a bit of a struggle.
And Paul, Nevada is 7th nationally in running the football, averaging 285 yards per game.
This is Mike Ball out to the 23-yard line. Tackle made by Shea McClellan, and that's a gain of 3. Defensively, seniors all across the front. All 4 of those are seniors, led by the defensive end, Shea McClellan. A couple of seniors also in the middle. Byron Houts, former defensive end. And in the back end, Quaylen Ewing Burton getting the start for an injured Jarrell Gavins, who tore knee ligaments this week.
And Nevada was going to have difficulty against this good Boise defense. They definitely don't have a chance if they only have 10 offensive players.
And to understand exactly what Chris Peterson is going to see from this Nevada offense, we need to get into a little bit what Nevada is without this year, without Colin Kaepernick and also Vi Tawa. They set an NCAA record for most career rushing yards and touchdowns by 2 teammates. Kaepernick, the quarterback, Tawa, the running back. So huge shoes to fill for Tyler Lantrip and also Mike Ball.
And Paul, I don't even know if it's realistic to think that a quarterback could fill the shoes of Colin Kaepernick. There are not a lot of Collins running around America. He was an unbelievable athlete, and his production was tremendous and significant. I think what Chris Alt wants is Tyler Lantrip to develop his own identity in this pistol offense.
2nd down 8 for this pistol offense. Inside give once again, and again that Boise defense strong. A gain of only 3 to bring up 3rd down and 5.
And Paul, we're going to say pistol offense throughout this football game. It's something that Nevada head coach Chris Alt came up with in the spring of 2005. And it implements a lot of different aspects. The quarterback's in the shotgun, but the running back is directly behind the quarterback so that the offense can maintain that north-south running game.
That running back is Mike Ball. Lantrip to the air, had out of the backfield Shane Anderson. Would have had a 1st down, overshot him, and it'll be 4th and 5.
And this was a good play design by Chris. Both receivers are going to release inside. Anderson is going to end up in the flat, and this is a ball that Tyler Lantrop, who is a fifth-year senior, and he's known to be a passing quarterback, you have to complete those throws. If you really want to upset the number 4 team in the country on the road, you have to make sure you complete the things that are right in front of you.
Jake Hurst punting, Mitch Burrows receiving. Boise State's defense now with 17 3-and-outs in a little over 3 games. Burrows has some room around the right side, and a big block, but a flag will follow that block. And a big return will come back for a Boise State block in the back. That return is 22 yards.
During the return, block in the back, receiving team number 13, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And this was one of what I thought were a couple different block in the backs, but if you see it's going to come into the picture right there, you have to make sure that you get that helmet on the front side of that Nevada player.
Chris Peterson, the winningest active coach in FPS, 64-5, almost a 93% winning percentage. Thanks a lot to Kellen Moore. He enters this game at 41-2 all time. Excellent numbers through 3 games as well this season. Empty backfield on 1st and 10. Moore in rhythm, over the middle. One play, 1 first down. Kellen Moore to Tyler Shoemaker.
And this is just an inside slant route. Good job by Shoemaker of getting inside of the Nevada defender. Great ball placement by Kellen Moore. This offense is really efficient. They don't have great skill position guys from an athletic standpoint, but they all understand their responsibility in this offense, and they do it on a consistent basis, and they do it well.
Gain of 15. Tyler Shoemaker now has 12 catches. 6 have gone for touchdowns. Moore with time. Wanted Shoemaker once again just off his fingertips, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Boise offense up front. Sean mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 10 offensive linemen already used up front. Nate Potter is the stud at left tackle. Huayarte and Hayes getting starts for injured players. Tyler Shoemaker, 6 touchdowns already, leads the nation in scoring for wide receivers.
And Paul, we talked about establishing a running game. So far, Boise has thrown the football.
Nevada defense there to bring down Doug Martin in the backfield. That's a loss of 5. Brett Roy leads the WAC in sacks and tackles for loss, and there you see why.
And Brett Roy does a good job of getting upfield penetration against this outside zone running play by Boise. He's a guy that really wants to emerge onto the national scene as a good player. Has 4 sacks already this season for this Nevada defense. Has been a lone bright spot among that front 4.
In 2010, 50 tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss. Not all conference, though. Big motivation for Big 47. Kellen Moore again with time and in rhythm. And Mitch Burrows couldn't come up with it. Hit him right between the 2 and the 0. And the Nevada defense catches a break.
Good route by Mitch Burrows. Mitch Burrows is almost the Wes Welker of this Boise offense. They will utilize him all around the field. Great ball placement by Kellen Moore, a ball that Mitch normally catches.
So Brad Elkin comes in. Of his 14 punts, 10 have been down inside the 20, right at a 39-yard average. Rashard Matthews, number 15, the senior wide receiver, back deep to receive, only averaging 1.8 yards per return. Penalty marker down at the 33-yard line. 46-yard punt.
Holding, receiving team number 7. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
Get our second look at the Nevada offense. It's early in Boise, and we're scoreless. The talent of Mike Ball, but he's had to earn that trust, and it didn't really come until this year.
And he's emerging as the season progresses. Chris Ault still feels like he has not found the running back he can depend on for 30 carries a week. Actually, he's very high on a sophomore back, Stephon Jefferson.
There's Ball once again, and that Boise defense in the backfield for a loss of 1. Tackle made by defensive end Jarrell Root.
And one of the challenges for this Nevada offense with Tyler Landrum at quarterback is he's not a great runner of the football. And what happens is the defense understands that, and they place a lot of attention on Mike Ball and the running backs. Chris Alt wants Tyler to become a bigger part of this rushing attack.
3rd down and 7. Broncos bring 5, get to him. Penalty marker is down. Pass broken up by Jamar Taylor, almost intercepted by Jamar Taylor.
Pass interference on the defense. Ball be placed on the foul. Automatic. First down.
Referee today is Scott Novak. Chris Peterson thought the ball was tipped.
And Jamar Taylor is normally the boundary corner for Boise State. If you see the contact at the top of the route, not much, but that is considered pass interference. Boise defensively will be without Jarrell Gavins, their elite cornerback who has 3 interceptions and 3 pass breakups on the year. Jamar Taylor is moving to the field. If you've ever seen Castaway, it's just like Tom Hanks. That's an island. Very interesting day. Can he hold up against a very good receiver, Rashard Matthews?
Jamar Taylor right now, number 5, the leading tackler on this Boise team with 18.
Previous play is under review.
So in college football, every play is reviewed by the replay booth. And they're going to take a look again at this pass interference call against Jamar Taylor.
And Paul, in this review, they're trying to see, was the football tipped? If the football was tipped and it's not pass interference, I don't see anyone contacting the football until it gets to Jamar Taylor.
At number 94, Byron Hunt, the senior linebacker. Looks like he may have jumped up and got a piece of that one. And we saw right away after the play, Boise head coach Chris Peterson making that nonverbal like the ball was tipped. Watch 94. Does he get his hands on the ball or his hand? And it does not look like he did.
Now, it does not look like he touches it. And the significance of this is in college football, if that ball is tipped, then pass interference cannot be called.
Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator for Boise, called his 6-foot linebacker Byron Hunt a 1950s style linebacker. And to me, that means he doesn't have a great vertical jump.
I was going to say.
We saw it there.
Byron has a 1950s vert.
Anthony, what are you seeing down there?
And you were talking about the 1950s linebacker comment. Byron Hoyt is actually the emotional leader of this defense. They've had a couple of outsized personalities that have been here over the years, especially with this group, these seniors that have won so many games. But Byron Hoyt, they talk about him as not the athletic guy, but as a guy who's always out there rallying the troops in practice. And they've moved him around quite a bit from position to position. Actually came in as a linebacker, moved to defensive end, now back to linebacker, an all-WAC selection as a linebacker last year. Suffered some injuries as well. Had to miss the last 4 games of the regular season last season, but still, even though he only played in 5 conference contests, still was voted all WAC. So not only his teammates taking notice of Byron Hoyt, but coaches around the league as well.
And this Boise team as a whole, you talk about senior leadership, Paul and Anthony, 25 seniors, 18 of them 5th-year players. A lot of experience, a lot of big game experience on this roster.
By rule, we have no defensive pass interference. It will be 4th down and 7 from the 19-yard line.
So referee Scott Novak saying that number 5 Jamar Taylor did tip the football. Clearly number 94 did not tip the ball.
I don't think they got that call right, Paul. Because the pass interference was called on Jamar.
And the interference happened before he touched the ball.
Yeah, they might have missed that one.
Okay,
because Byron Hoyt definitely did not tip the football.
Jamar Taylor did touch it, but the touch came after the contact. This is where we are, though, with the punt team on. Boise State forcing its 2nd 3 and out. Jake Hurst back to punt for the second time today. Mitch Burrows does not get a chance to bring that one back, and the Boise offense led by Kellen Moore in good shape after a 38-yard punt with no return. We all know about the Smurf turf, the blue field here in Boise, but it's not the only one of its kind. Eastern Washington has a red field, Sean King, and how about this at Central Arkansas? Purple and silver. And last year, Oregon State getting ready to come play at Boise, painted a practice field blue. Didn't help.
It did not help.
Can't blame them for trying.
We've learned a lot about this blue field since we arrived on Thursday. One of the preconceived notions that I had that turned out to be false was that they had to cover it in the winter because the birds would come down and land as though it was a lake.
Somebody got you on that one.
They did.
I wonder how hot that Eastern Washington red turf gets, as I told you guys in the pregame, where the Smurf turf supposedly radiates heat in a different way. That red turf, that's got to be pretty hot, too.
How hot is the blue turf, Anthony?
The blue turf is smoking right now, Paul.
I figured as much after taking in Thursday practice down there when it was up in the 90s. 1st and 10 from the 43. DJ Harper, the backup running back behind Kellen Moore. This is a give to Burrows. Didn't get a chance on the punt return, but does get across the 50-yard line there with a gain of 7. Nevada defense up front, led by Brett Roy. We've already seen a tackle for loss provided by him. He leads the WAC conference in that category. Strength is in the middle. Brandon Marshall leads the team in tackles. James Michael Johnson, the most experienced member of that Wolfpack D, and Isaiah Fry, second team All-WAC a year ago. Doug Martin back in at running back. Here's Martin off the left side, cutting back, and just barely getting back to that line of scrimmage. Gain of 1, and an example there, Sean, what we talked about, the Boise running game at only 3.2 yards per carry this year, not exactly where it wants to be.
And if this Boise team has an Achilles heel, it's their inability to dominate the offensive front. If you see, Nevada gets a lot of penetration. Their defensive linemen on the Boise side of the line of scrimmage is very difficult. Even a good running back like Doug Martin is very difficult when you're presented with that type of penetration.
3rd down and 3, play action. Moore keeping it himself. This is Kyle Efaw. Not a big gain, but a gain of 4 on 3rd down and 3. And that'll be a Bronco 1st down.
I will say this about that Boise running game, though, Paul. They're committed to running the football. If you do a breakdown offensively of this team, 51% of the time, they're calling runs. And if you look at some of the passes that Kellen Moore throws, a lot of times they can substitute their short passing game for a run and get the same result.
Doug Martin in at tailback on 1st and 10 from the 45. Moore to Martin in the open field. Nevada defense there right away, only a gain of 3. And the tackle made by Jeremiah Green from his linebacker spot.
And you saw so many white shirts around the football, guys. This is the Wolfpack defense that hunts together. They really preach rallying to the football because they're not the biggest group up front. And in the run game that we mentioned from Boise State, this is a physical size advantage that they normally don't have against most of their opponents. So it's going to be imperative that Nevada continues to chase the football.
Empty backfield for Kellen Moore on 2nd and 7. Inside give on the motion. That's another Boise 1st down. Doug Martin lined up at slot. Ended up running the football anyway. Big gain for the Broncos. 1st down. Pickup of 18 yards. Tackle made by Brandon Marshall.
Good job by Doug Martin of having patience. He stretches this run all the way out to the edge. Great job by Matt Miller, the wide receiver, of getting a block. The one thing about running the football, a lot of times you'll have negative runs for no gains. If you continue to run the football, eventually some of those runs will start popping.
This is DJ Harper, little gap off the left side down to the 21-yard line. Tackle made by Marshall once again. That's a gain of 3. And the lack of effectiveness running the football for Boise stands out even more. And once again, they're at 3.4 per carry. That's 2nd worst in the Mountain West Conference. Stands out even more because a year ago they were 5.4, and that was a school record per carry.
And between the tandem that they utilize in Doug Martin and DJ Harper, Martin is known as more of the bruiser in the backfield. But I'll tell you, from down here at field level, I'm surprised at how nimble he is when he carries the ball.
DJ Harper, the lone running back, to Kellen Moore's right. To the air. Look at that pocket. You give him that kind of time. DJ Harper, touchdown Broncos.
And Paul, Kellen Moore saw this matchup as soon as the ball was snapped. His running back, DJ Harper, gets matched up against Nevada linebacker James Michael Johnson. He likes the matchup. Anytime you can get an elusive running back out in the open field against one of those linebackers, it's generally advantage offense.
21 yards, Kellen Moore to his tailback, DJ Harper. Kellen Moore and the Broncos on the board. A strike. 7-0, Boise State leads. Every week, Versus dives deep into the National Football League. Go inside the locker room and also on the field to see and hear which turning points altered the week's most important games. NFL Turning Point tonight, 11:30 Eastern on Versus. Kellen Moore to his backup tailback, DJ Harper. 7-0, Boise State leading with 7:37 left in the first quarter. Back deep, couple of defensive backs. Khalid Wooten, the corner for Nevada, and also Duke Williams, starting safety. 5 yards deep. Williams keeps it himself, and the Nevada offense will get its third crack yet to pick up a first down against this Boise State defense.
And so far in the football game, Paul, Nevada has not tried to attack the edges of this Boise State defense running the football. Everything has been between the tackles. It's been north and south, downhill. Billy Wynn and Chase Baker are really good defensive tackles. If I'm Chris Alt, I'm going to try and get on the edges a little bit and get Mike Ball, see if I can get him to the second level.
See Doug Martin, the starting tailback here for Boise State, being stretched out. Checking the legs there on the sideline. This is first down and 10, Nevada on the 20. Boise brings the blitz. Lantrip keeps it himself, does a nice job of getting out to that 26-yard line. Tackle made by Chase Baker, and that's a gain of 6.
Important point that Sean just made there about attacking the edges, because that's where in the run defense we've seen Boise State struggle a bit at different points. But without Cody Fajardo in the lineup at quarterback, we've seen their freshman quarterback do some amazing things running the football. A lot of that off plays going outside, and without his speed and explosiveness in there, it's going to be important for Tyler Lantrip to do what he just did.
Second down and 5. The tailback is number 5, Mike Ball. Lantrip keeps it himself. And that's a gain of 1. Defensive end Tyrone Crawford with the tackle. So Nevada comes into this game 1-2, and unbelievably, no home games yet. At Oregon, at San Jose State, that was a hard-fought win. And then last week, almost coming from behind to win in Lubbock, losing 35-34 against Texas Tech. Third down and 3 from their own 27.
Ball start on the offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Third down and 3, a whole lot better for the offensive coordinator, for the quarterback, than third and 8. Also third and 8, much more of a blitz down for the defense, isn't it?
It is. And Chris Alt, Nevada head coach, said this has been probably one of the most frustrating years he's had. Offensively, they've not been able to find any continuity. They've continued to have untimely penalties, as just evidenced by their false start.
Bronco defense with 8 senior starters here on 3rd and 8. Bringing the blitz. Lantrip under pressure, dumps it off the ball. Here comes Billy Wynn. And a linebacker, Byron Hunt, also there. That's a gain of 2. Byron Hout with the tackle.
Really good play by Byron Hout. He engaged the Nevada blocker, spun off, and finished the play by making the tackle. Just a good job by a guy that's kind of undersized. But if you see the spin off, which frees him and gets him to the Nevada ball carrier, Mike Ball.
And they'll readily admit that Byron Hout is physically limited in the sideline capacity, but his nose for the football is maybe second to none.
Jake Hurst back to punt. 3 possessions, 3 punts for the Wolfpack offense. Mitch Burrows from the 30-yard line, punt of 47 and a net of 47 with no return. So Kellen Moore, 41-2 all-time, already with a touchdown strike to DJ Harper. His Broncos lead 7-0.
It was a good, hard-fought game like we always have with Nevada. We got out to a good lead, and they came storming back.
Rolling left, throws end zone, caught, touchdown Matthews.
They made a couple more plays than we did. It was a great college football game, and Nevada played better than us and deserved to win.
The Boise dream is over.
Chris Peterson says it's not revenge today, just a couple of good teams going at it, and lots of points recently. Now, Kellen Moore been a part of that. He's also a big part of today. Colin Kaepernick and Vitale gone. And clearly this Nevada offense right now with 3 and outs struggling in their absence. There's Kellen Moore, touchdown pass to DJ Harper on the last possession, extra point, and it's now 7-0. Harper again, that time met in the backfield. Brandon Marshall getting there first, a loss of 3. DJ Harper continues to stay in the game for the starting running back, Doug Martin.
Great job by Brandon Marshall of being strong at the point of attack. He does a good job of initiating the contact with the Boise offensive lineman and is able to get another tackle for a loss for this Nevada front seven, who've done a very good job this far of not allowing Boise to get this running game going.
Marshall there first, Kalen Burnett there to finish DJ Harper off. 2nd down 12. Moore again with the pockets. Out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 11. Khalid Wooten making the tackle.
And Tommy Smith is a linebacker that they actually bring over to offense to play fullback because they've had so many injuries at the position. And this is what the defensive players live for. Every defensive lineman, all the linebackers are trying to come over and help Chris Peterson in this offense. They all want to play fullback.
3rd down and 1. The running back remains DJ Harper. Play action to Harper. And Kellen Moore, you don't see that a whole lot. Just overshooting his tight end, Gabe Linehan. And it'll be 4th and 1.
Nevada picked their spot to bring some additional pressure. Was actually protected well. But we did talk to their defensive staff during the week. They felt like where they had success last season was hitting Kellen Moore early in the football game. And so they're going to pick their spots to still try and see if they can get to the pocket. Actually, again, protect it well. But Kellen Moore missed his open target.
Kellen Moore right now 5 for 8, 53 yards and 1 touchdown. Back to punt is Brad Elkin for the 2nd time today, and deep is Rashard Matthews. Matthews lets it hit. Boise special teams lets that one get away. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 20. Hey, Chris Ault might have the most unique resume of any head coach in the country. First of all, played quarterback at this school at Nevada in the mid to late 60s. Nevada head coach, 3 different stints. Has also been the athletic director. And oh, by the way, he is in the College Football Hall of Fame. One of the most highly respected and well-liked coaches in all of college football with an unbelievably unique resume.
And Chris Ault is one of only 2 active FBS head coaches who are actually in the College Football Hall of Fame. Penn State's Joe Paterno being the other.
Mike Ball, the tailback, behind Tyler Lantrip. This is an inside give to Shane Anderson. Puts it on that blue turf. And lots of blue jerseys there to make him pay. That's a loss of 3.
Good ball handling by Tyler Lantrip. He puts the ball in a good spot. And Shane Anderson just loses the football. Good job of re-securing the football.
Tackle made by J.C. Piercy.
The Wolfpack sideline may have heard us talking during the broadcast because the last time the offense left the field, they began to talk about attacking the edges, and they challenged the offensive line to get their blocks going.
2nd down, 13. Lantrip to the air. There's Shane Anderson. That Boise defense there right away in the form of Jamar Taylor, the leading tackler on this team. That's a gain of 4.
And these last few plays are a good look at the versatility, the multiplicity that you get from the pistol offense, because you have the shotgun elements of the passing game, but you still get the downhill run elements as well.
Oh, you can attest to this. That is a very dangerous throw. You're on the opposite hash. To throw a flat route to the right side of the field is a long throw.
You're saying I would have made that throw and you wouldn't have?
I think I would have chosen to throw it to someone else.
3rd down and 9. Broncos bring 5. Lantrip with time. Doesn't see what he likes. Sees some open blue turf and just enough for a Wolfpack first down. Gain of 9. That's the first Nevada first down of the game. Tommy Smith running him out of bounds.
This is a good job by Tyler Lantrip. No one's open down the field. Doesn't force the football. Now, understanding down and distance, he recognizes what he needs to achieve to get the first down and gets it done.
First down and 10 from the 31. Inside give to Anderson. Has been active as a runner and a receiver so far. That's a gain of 3. Tackle made by J.C. Piercy.
What you see on a play like that is a defense that's been hurt by the ground game of the quarterback, and that's what, again, helps you with the pistol offense. The quarterback has gained some yards with his legs, and now you're just a bit hesitant as a defense trying to decide whether or not you're going to follow the QB or if you're going to react to that potential handoff.
Stephon Jefferson, number 25, comes into the game at running back from Mike Ball here on 2nd down 7. Little flip outside. Number 32 is Nick Hale. That's a gain of 5 in the tackle. Tackle made by Tommy Smith.
And Boise does a good job of being strong at the point of attack. I'm not sure if the cornerback's blocking the receiver or the receiver's blocking the corner. But George Ialoka does a good job of forcing that quick screen back inside where he has help on the defensive side of the football.
The receiver there for Nevada was number 82, Trey Session. And it's now 3rd down and 5. Lantrip with time and misfiring. Shane Anderson, the intended receiver. And for the 4th time here in the first quarter, we will see the Nevada punt team.
That's the 2nd time, Paul, they've tried to run that hook route on 3rd down, and Jamar Taylor is just sitting right at the first down marker. He's not moving. At some point, Nevada is going to have to try and go down the field against these Boise cornerbacks.
That was Nevada's starting tailback, Mike Ball, being looked at on the Wolfpack sideline. Mitch Burrows back deep to receive. Jake Hurst with the punt. From his own 12, lots of running room for Burrows. Almost into Nevada territory. Mitch Burrows with a catch and a burst. A gain of, or a return of 33 yards. Kellen Moore with his Broncos leading by 7, about to take the field. Versus drops the puck on a new NHL season Thursday with an opening night doubleheader. First, the Flyers visit the defending Stanley Cup champion Bruins. Then the Penguins take on the Canucks. The NHL on Versus. Hockey is here. We are here in Boise. Paul Burmeister, Sean King, Anthony Herron, and the Broncos leading with 46 seconds left in the first quarter. 7-0 thanks to a Kellen Moore to DJ Harper touchdown pass. Doug Martin back in the game. And the Nevada defense there. No gain.
Boise still has not found a way with that offensive line to gain control of the line of scrimmage. And what Boise does not want to do is become one-dimensional, but thus far they've been unable to run the football.
Out of the empty backfield. Kellen Moore with an incomplete pass looking for Aaron Burks. No flag down, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. Kellen Moore right now 5 for 9. Doug Martin was being worked on earlier in the game. You saw him on the sideline. And now back in. DJ Harper had been filling in well for him. And Moore for 5 for 9, a little uncharacteristic as he came into this game. 79%. This is 3rd down and 10.
And they're about to get all-out pressure. It's going to be man-to-man across the board. Can Kellen find someone that's open?
Does the right thing, just catches it, gets rid of it against that man coverage, Matt Miller. The freshman didn't have a chance at that one. Coverage provided by Thaddeus Brown.
Good job by Thaddeus Brown of not letting Matt Miller get a clean release off the line of scrimmage. And this is a missed throw by Kellen. Again, on those deep balls, you want to give your wide receiver an opportunity to catch the football. Very uncharacteristic of Kellen not to do that.
Uncharacteristic of this offense as well in the first quarter already with its third 3-and-out. Brad Elkin back to punt and Rashard Matthews to receive. Matthews with a fair catch at the 11-yard line. 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter with Boise State leading Nevada 7-0. Now we've had 4 different looks at this Nevada offense. Sean and Anthony, anything that you've seen that has surprised you, or anything you'd like to see moving forward that they've not done yet?
They're starting to have some success running the ball on the edges of this Boise defense. They're starting to force Boise to defend east and west. And once that happens, I think they can go back and attempt to get Mike Ball some north-south opportunities right between the tackles.
Anthony?
I believe what Boise's going to have the opportunity to do is to try and switch the tempo of this game. That's what you tend to see the Broncos do. They'll start to go no huddle as they move forward and tire out that defense.
Stephon Jefferson does not get the handoff from Tyler Landtrip. Wasted play for that Nevada offense and a loss of 3. A play that'll be the last of the first quarter.
This bad ball handling. Doesn't look like Stephon Jefferson is anticipating getting that football. Tyler Landtrip's read told him to give the football to the tailback. I'm sure Chris Alt will get that situated as they come to the sideline.
That's the end of the first quarter with Boise State leading Nevada 7-0. We'll return to Bronco Stadium after these messages. You're watching college football on Versus. Boise River runs right through campus here for the Boise State Broncos. 7-0 after 1 quarter against Nevada. And Boise not exactly running through the Nevada defense.
They've struggled to establish a running game. 7 carries for only 22 yards. They've really been one-dimensional.
Wolfpack offense now 2nd down 13. Tyler Landtrip with the play action. Keeps it himself, run right out of bounds. Making the start is Quaylen Ewing-Burton for the injured Jarrell Gavins.
And this is the one part of this pistol attack that really misses Colin Kaepernick. In the pass, Paul, if Kaepernick would have got on the edge, this would have been a 15, 20-yard game. Tyler Landtrip just does not have the same foot speed.
Well, Chris Alt saying where Tyler Landtrip gets you 7, Cody Fajardo can get you 15. Not playing with the injured left shoulder. It's 3rd down and 12. Landtrip intercepted. J.C. Percy giving the ball right back to Kellen Moore in the Bronco offense.
And Paul, J.C.'s going to get all the credit, but this is a result of great pressure by this Boise defensive line. If you see great inside move by the defender, forces Tyler not to set his feet, makes an inaccurate throw. It results in a turnover for this Boise defense.
And that's the down and distance that has to be avoided by the Wolfpack, because when this defensive front from Boise gets blood in their fingertips, there's no one in college football that can block him.
Great inside move by Shea McClellan, a young man who has 16 career sacks, already has 2.5 this year. Very good at rushing the passer in 3rd and long situations.
Doug Martin in at tailback, and Doug Martin putting his head down just across right at the 15-yard line for a gain of 3. Boise State 13 out of 16 red zone success. All 13 of those scores touchdowns. See, Tyler Landtrip right there now has 3 touchdowns, or 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions this season already. Doug Martin remains in at tailback on 2nd down 7. Tyler Shoemaker in motion. And Moore just fires it, going to give that one right back. Jeremiah Green says thank you very much from his linebacker spot. 2 plays after a Landtrip interception, Kellen Moore with his 3rd of the season.
And because of how successful Kellen Moore is, you would think that there's no aspects of his game that need working on. But Brent Pease, offensive coordinator, said his pocket awareness and being over-aggressive are 2 of the things they're trying to work on with Kellen. If you see moves in the pocket but doesn't quite move enough, and then sometimes you just have to understand that the defense makes the plays, gets a little too over-aggressive, underthrows the football, it results in a Boise turnover.
Really well-executed pass rush there from Kalen Burnett. The Wolfpack had been waiting on him to emerge. He's been a guy that's moved from linebacker to defensive end, and they like his speed and think he has big playability.
See the knee brace on Kellen Moore's right knee. He injured that knee at Toledo. Wore it last week against Tulsa, wearing it again today. Coaches say it's precautionary. Kellen Moore says it's just a doctor thing. Tyler Landtrip. Ooh, late penalty flag. As he wanted Rashard Matthews down the left side here. Jamar Taylor on the coverage. And he appears to be guilty of pass interference.
Paul, this may be a makeup call for the call earlier that I don't think they got right. Because there is a little contact, but Rashard Matthews actually just almost runs out of bounds. I mean, there's not a lot of contact between Jamar Taylor and Rashard Matthews on that play.
1st down and 10, Nevada at the 24. Mike Ball, the tailback, behind Tyler Landtrip. Mike Ball up the middle. Boise defense swarming in on him. Gain of 2, and the tackle made by Dextrell Simmons, the nickelback.
This is the tempo that Nevada will need to operate at, because Tyler Landtrip, he's the only quarterback that they're hoping to see in the lineup today. So the hurry-up suits more his freshman counterpart, Cody Fajardo, who's not playing. But for Landtrip to get in the rhythm, he's going to need Mike Ball carrying that ball behind him.
Mike Ball is the tailback behind him right now. On 2nd down 8. Pressure provided by Baker. Forcing Landtrip to get rid of it early, and it'll be 3rd down and 8.
When I talk group rush mentality, it's because everyone in this front can bring it. Even a talented guy like Chase Baker, right there at the nose position inside, slid the protection. And when you don't block someone, especially someone as talented and athletic as Chase Baker, he is going to put heat on the pocket.
Shea McClellan and also Billy Wynn more highly decorated on that front, but Pete Kwiatkowski telling us yesterday he was the best D lineman by the end of the year. Pressure again to Landtrip, forcing the early throw. And another incompletion.
Great job by Tyrone Crawford. If you see, he's going to make an underneath move on the tackle, gets to the quarterback, forces Tyler to throw the football before he's ready.
And when I'm talking D-line play, I don't want to talk over anyone's head here, but this is artistry we're seeing up front. That term I'm using, group rush mentality, because Crawford, he's allowed to make that inside move because he's got his nose guard, his defensive tackle inside next to him that's covering his back. Every time one guy in the Boise front makes a move, there's another guy, his counterpart next to him, has his back.
Jake Hurst, an active part of this Nevada offense so far. To Mitch Burrows, who lets it drop. And that'll be downed on the 19-yard line. 55-yard punt by Jake Hurst. Kellen Moore will be back at it on the other side of this break. On Kellen Moore's last series, he was intercepted in the red zone. Here he is again, 1st down and 10. On his own 19, 12:46 left in the 2nd quarter. Back to pass, coming out of the backfield to Doug Martin, little high. And Kellen Moore, Sean, is now 5 for 12.
Offensive coordinator Brent Pease said even with a quarterback as accomplished as Kellen Moore, they want to get him into a rhythm. So far, Kellen has not found that rhythm. He's been high to some guys. He's overthrown some guys. He's even thrown a rare interception. If you notice, the first 2 passes of this drive have not been all that accurate, and Kellen Moore is getting off of this blue turf after throwing the football.
Contact to the quarterback's helmet. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And Paul, I think that's one of the reasons. The one thing when you watch the Boise tape, coming into the game, they have not given up a sack. James Michael Johnson actually hits Kellen after he throws the ball, and they get a roughing the passer call. But if you're a defense, I think you'll even take that 15-yard penalty. You want to make Kellen uncomfortable. You want to try and get as many hits as possible on the Boise quarterback.
Gives it to Doug Martin, and there's a big gain for the Boise ground game right up the middle. Tackle made by Jeremiah Green, and the gain is 8.
This is what can help Boise. If they're not going to go no huddle, which it appears, now they are starting to speed up the tempo. The multiple personalities they can employ offensively and be effective.
Kellen Moore, plenty of time. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. And Kellen Moore, guys, he's now 5 for 13 as the ball batted down by Brett Roy. And 5 for 13 significant because in 43 career starts, Kellen Moore has never finished less than 50% ever. Got to wonder how much that right knee that we saw with the brace earlier that he says is only a doctor thing. The coaches say is precautionary. At only 5 for 13, is that knee really bothering him? He's also had 3 drops today. Should point that out. Doug Martin is the running back.
And he has man-on-man coverage up here. I wouldn't be surprised if he took an opportunity at that matchup.
There you go. Good call, Sean. Took a shot and completed to Matt Miller. Gain of 8. And a Bronco first down.
This is a stop right by Matt Miller. You want to make it look like a takeoff. Does a good job of coming out of it at the top. Pretty good coverage by Khalid Wooten, but even a better throw by Kellen.
Well, this is a fast-paced no huddle, and that's Doug Martin around the left side. Gain of 9, tackle made by Marlon Johnson.
And Anthony talked about the different personalities of this offense. Very rarely do they huddle, but they do have different tempos when they come to the line of scrimmage, and right now they're in their fast up-tempo pace.
Doug Martin, the star of this series, and there you see why. Putting his head down. Another Bronco first down, this one to the 35 after a gain of 4. Jeremiah Green, he had the interception earlier with the tackle.
And Nevada D coordinator Andy Boo, he was concerned about this. He was worried that his defense could not even get lined up correctly when Boise went to this up-tempo offense.
More back to the air. And intercepted for the second time. Appears to be by Khalid Wooten. And it is Kellen Moore's
Nevada, touchback.
His second pick of this quarter.
And again, you're just not used to seeing Kellen Moore make bad throws. This is not necessarily a bad decision, but if you're going to throw that football, it has to be to that back pylon where either Matt Miller makes a great catch or it's an incompletion.
Now, would you be upset with Matt Miller there? Did he make the kind of effort one-on-one that you would want as a senior quarterback?
You asked me if I was satisfied with the effort by the wide receiver. What you would like is for your wide receiver at this point to pull Khalid Wooten down to ensure that that's not an intercepted pass. But in Matt Miller's defense, you're not used to bad, inaccurate passes coming your way, so it might have caught him by surprise.
You couldn't have executed much better if you're Khalid Wooten in that situation either. Really squeeze the fade route as you're taught to do as a corner.
This is Mike Ball. He has a Nevada first down. After having his left ankle worked on and retaped earlier in this half, that's a gain of 12.
Certainly begs the question, guys, and I'm right here near the Boise sideline. Haven't seen anyone, no medical personnel, paying any attention to Kellen Moore's knee brace, but it does beg the question because we rarely, if ever, see a performance like this in the first half.
Not thrown more than 1 interception in any of his last games until today. He has 2. This is Tyler Landtrip, the Nevada quarterback.
You know, I'll be honest, Paul and Anthony, I've watched a lot of Boise tape. I've never seen Kellen Moore have a bad game. So I guess it happens even to the best of us.
Second down 6, backside pursuit for that Boise defense. Loss of 1. Tackle made by Dextrell Simmons.
And Mike Ball, who's having that ankle worked on earlier, is noticeably limping. Doesn't seem like he's at full go.
Kellen Moore did play last week with the knee brace and also played very well. Excellent chance for an interception and dropped. Number 5 is the leading tackler, Jamal Taylor.
And Paul, that's why they're just saying all cornerbacks or wide receivers that could not catch. Great job by the field corner, Jamar Taylor, of breaking on the football, unable to come up with the reception for the interception for his defense.
Jake Hurst back to punt once again for Nevada, and Mitch Burrows going to receive for Boise State. There's a shank directly to the Boise State bench. .950 left in the second quarter. Broncos by 7. Kellen Moore and the Bronco offense finding the going tough against this Nevada defense, leading just 7-0. .950 left in the second quarter. Back to the ground game. This is Doug Martin. Excellent job of staying on his feet, fighting for extra yardage right at the sticks for a gain of 10. Tackle finally made by Marlon Johnson.
Excellent individual effort by Doug Martin. He's one of those running backs that has great lower body strength. Very difficult for that initial defender to bring him down. Good job by Doug of creating something when really nothing was there. Nevada is still doing a good job of not giving him openings, but sometimes when you have backs that are as talented as Doug Martin, he can make things happen on his own.
There he made Nevada's active leading tackler James Michael Johnson miss. Nice pocket around Moore underneath the Shoemaker. Good decision. Gain of right at 10 yards. Tackle made by Brandon Marshall. Well, that's Kellen Moore just making it look easy. Had the time. Nice decision to come underneath. And that's what we've become used to seeing with the senior quarterback. DJ Harper now back in at tailback, the backup to Doug Martin. He has the only score of this game, 21-yard touchdown reception from Kellen Moore. Off the left side, and James Michael Johnson there to meet him. Gain of 1. Brett Roy also there.
And when you see Kellen under center, Boise setting up something for later. This Nevada defensive line is doing a good job of getting penetration. The next time Kellen goes under center, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of play action pass, deep route down the field and try and take a shot.
Doug Martin now back in at tailback to Kellen Moore's left on 2nd down 9. Nevada brings the pressure, and Moore knows right where to go with it. Lays it off to Doug Martin. Tackle made by James Michael Johnson, but that's a gain of 5.
One of the things that Kellen Moore is really good at is picking up pressure that comes from the edges. He does an excellent job of understanding where his hots are, which receiver should get the football based on what the defense does. I think it's important that Nevada try and create that pass rush from the inside out.
3rd down and 4. Mitch Burrows in motion. Moore comes right to Burrows, a little bit behind him, but Moore to Burrows for a 1st down and a gain of 6.
That's the ultimate pass rush neutralizer. When you get the football out of the quarterback's hands as quickly as we're seeing Boise doing right now, the speed that Nevada's been able to bring off the edges, it's ineffective now. You can't get home as a pass rusher when the ball is gone.
Gain of 5, 1st down and 10 from the 25. Doug Martin around the left side. Dancing and sprinting and almost breaking that last tackle. Marlon Johnson with a stop to save the 6. That's a gain of 13.
In an offense that's usually the Kellen Moore show, it's almost easy to forget about Doug Martin sometimes, but this guy has been churning up yardage and working his way up the Boise State rankings for years now. And it's been with runs like that. It's not always blocked great, but he's got the hunger when he carries the football.
10 carries for 63 yards. Boise fans happy to see a 6.3 yard average for Doug Martin. 1-2 penalty flags in. James Michael Johnson making the tackle on Martin.
There are 2 fouls, both against the defense. Personal foul, hands to the face, number 51 of the defense. Penalties declined. Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 54. After distance to the goal, first down.
Now, Paul, Nevada safety Marlon Johnson has been told how difficult it is to tackle Doug Martin in the open field. But if you see him, he gets an opportunity initially to make that play. Doug Martin is very elusive for a guy that's known as an in-between-the-tackles type of running back.
Doug Martin a year ago, first team all-WAC with 1,260 yards and coming into this game. Lagging a little behind the standard he set at 3.2 yards per carry, but having a big afternoon with 11 rushes for 71 yards. Doug Martin putting the head down, and James Michael Johnson coming up with a stop, a gain of 1.
And this has been Tyler Shoemaker territory. Austin Pettis, the outstanding Boise receiver who's gone on to the National Football League, for the last 2 years was Kellen Moore's red zone target. Those two combined for 22 touchdowns. Tyler Shoemaker had 6 coming into the game, and this is generally where they try and find him.
His tight ends, Efaw and Linehan, have a combined 4 touchdowns as well. More rolling and coming back. Wanted Kyle Efaw and overshot him.
And this is a good job by Efaw. If you see, he's going to come and delay and come along the back of the end zone. He's actually by himself and open. A ball that Kellen should put some air on, and a very easy throw for a quarterback of Kellen's accomplishments. But again, it just seems that he's a little off today with his accuracy, which is very surprising because when you evaluate him and watch him on film, he generally makes all of the gimme throws.
Right now, 9 for 19, and again, he came into this game at 79%. This is 3rd down and 3, 10th play of this drive. More back to the air. Matt Miller, touchdown, Boise State.
Little slant route by Matt Miller. He crosses the defender's face. Good throw by Kellen Moore. Touchdown, Boise.
The Boise offensive coordinator Brett Pease telling us, you know what, Matt Miller has to do a really good job at getting off press tomorrow. Right there, he got off the press and put up 6. Dan Goodale up and in. Kellen Moore has a touchdown strike to DJ Harper. He now has another to his wide receiver, the freshman Matt Miller. The Broncos lead by 14. For the first time on Versus, a UFC title will be on the line live tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. 2 of the fastest mixed martial artists will collide. Demetrius Johnson looks to dethrone the Dominator, Dominic Cruz, for the UFC bantamweight title. It's the UFC live and free tonight at 9 o'clock on Versus. And here at Broncos Stadium, it is the Broncos leading 14-0. Khalid Wooten back to receive. Boise kicking off just moments after the Kellen Moore touchdown pass to Matt Miller, his second of the afternoon. The first went to DJ Harper. Trevor Harmon to kick off for the Broncos. This is Khalid Wooten. And that's the Broncos special teams stepping up. Kellen Moore now with 113 career touchdown passes. That's 8th all-time, as he just passed Colt McCoy, and he is 1 away from tying Danny Werfel.
That's the distance to the goal. First down.
Chris Peterson likes that call. Personal foul against Nevada.
Tyler Lantrip is just a few career touchdown passes behind where Kellen Moore sits at this point. But it's going to be important for them offensively to stay in their personality. And we know Chris Ault, he's the only coach in FBS history that's actually led offenses that have led the nation in passing one season and later led the nation in rushing. But right now, they need their running back, Mike Ball, to be able to help them try to close out this half, stay in the personality of how this current edition of the Pistol sits.
Tyler Lantrip back in at quarterback. He has one interception this afternoon. There's the give to Mike Ball. And the tackle made by Shea McClellan, gain of 2.
And Nevada defensively has done a good job against this Boise offense. But Tyler Lantrip has to find a way to get a few first downs for this offense. That defense is starting to accumulate plays, and the more Boise's on the field offensively, the more likelihood that they'll start to connect on some of their explosive plays.
2nd down 9 for Tyler Lantrip with Mike Ball, the tailback, behind him. Trey Session in motion. Session puts the ball on the turf, picks it back up. Bronco defense there to drop him. Tyrone Crawford is there. Aaron Tevis as well.
And Paul, I don't know if this is a lack of concentration. I'm not sure if the football is slick, but this is the 3rd time on this wide receiver sweep that we've seen the football on the ground. Chris Ault prides himself on having an offense that can execute. He's very disappointed right now in their inability to handle the football.
How's this for a tough situation? 3rd down and 15, trailing by 14. From inside your own 5. Timeout called Nevada. All right, Sean King, here we are, 4:23 left at Broncos Stadium, and Boise State leading 14-0. Couple of touchdown passes from Kellen Moore. And what have you seen so far from the Boise State Broncos, offensively or defensively, that's really impressed you the most?
Well, I think offensively they're making an effort to run the football. They didn't have a lot of success early, but Doug Martin is starting to turn some of those 2- and 3-yard runs into 10 and 12, so that's a positive. Kellen Moore, surprisingly, has been inaccurate and not as efficient as we're used to seeing, but all it takes is a couple completions for him to get back on track.
And as far as his counterpart today, Tyler Lantrip?
They've not been able to do a lot offensively. Not as effective running the football from that position as I think Chris Ault would like. Very bad field position today also. Every time they've gotten the ball, they've been backed up, and that's a difficult obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, the average starting field position for Nevada, they're on 15. 3rd and 15. Incomplete. They avoid the turnover, they avoid the safety. But that's an ugly possession for Tyler Lantrip and his Nevada offense.
Sean can speak to it better than I can, but it's a dangerous place to be if you're a quarterback with your feet in your own goal line with a great pass rush coming across from you. I've been on the other side of it where I've wanted to get after some QBs, but Tyler Lantrip looked extremely uncomfortable on that drive.
I think Boise State returner Mitch Burles looks awfully comfortable standing in Nevada territory on the Wolfpack 48. Jake Hurst with the punt, and it's a good one. From the 50, here comes Burles. Burles still moving to the 25. Second big return in a row for the wideout, Mitch Burles. The punt was 47, but that return was 25.
I like Mitch Burles. He just jumps off the film. He does so much for this Boise team. You see him here returning punts. He also runs the football. He catches the football. He reminds me a lot of a Wes Welker type of player. He just does everything for this Boise offense.
Also came into this game leading the team in receptions and yards. And that 25-yard return, Kellen Moore says thank you. 25 yards to pay dirt, leading by 14 with 4:05 left. Moore with the play action in a nice pocket. And the touch. Gabe Linehan was wide open.
And you're right, he had Gabe Linehan wide open. I had mentioned earlier that the next time Kellen Moore was under center, that I bet they were going to try and play action and push the football down the football field. Linehan actually runs a good route. This ball should be over in this area. Kellen throws it a little too far up the field. And as I watch Kellen, I'm not sure if I can pinpoint and place what exactly it is that's out of whack today, but he's just not been very accurate throwing the football.
Doug Martin has been pretty solid on the ground. Nevada defense there to stop him that time. Tackle made by Charles Garrett from his safety spot. That's a gain of 1.
As I've listened closely to this Wolfpack defense throughout the first half, it's been a very confident group. And every time they've come to the sidelines after a stop, they've been like that as well. This is a huge moment in this ball game for 3rd and long. If they can come up with another big pass rush, maybe another opportunity for them to force a field goal, they can still have some momentum going into the locker room.
3rd down and 9. Nevada defense last in the WAC, giving up 44% 3rd down conversions. Here comes the blitz. Boise picks it up. And Kellen Moore finds a way to fit that one in there to Matt Miller. Excellent job of using his body. Strong hands. It's a gain of 6. Isaiah Fry with the coverage.
Good job by 4-year starter Isaiah Fry. It's obviously man-to-man coverage. He follows Matt Miller across the formation. Understands down and distance. He set his feet right at 10 yards and said, if you make this catch, it will not be for a Boise first down.
Chris Peterson electing to go for it on 4th and 3. Go ahead, Anthony.
Kellen Moore immediately looked to the sidelines after that 3rd down and told them he wanted to go for it. There's no question.
Boise 3 out of 6 converting 4th down situations this year. Moore to the air. First down, Broncos. Mitch Burrows with the reception. Thaddeus Brown on the coverage, but that's a gain of 11.
The Indianapolis Colts made that play famous. It's called Z-Dig. The wide receiver comes off the football field 5 yards and comes across. Marvin Harrison probably caught 300 balls in his career on that play.
I know you got a good look at that. Your time with the Indianapolis Colts, 2006, was it?
Yes.
First down and goal from the 7. Doug Martin, the tailback. Tyler Shoemaker in motion. This is Martin on the cross-buck action. Nevada defense. James Michael Johnson there once again. Gain of 2.
That was an excellent tackle by Nevada linebacker James Michael Johnson. You talked to Brent Pease, the Boise coordinator, and he says the 2 guys that jump off the screen for Nevada are number 52, James Michael Johnson, and number 33, Brandon Marshall. And you see right there how good of a tackler he is in space.
2nd down goal from the 5. Doug Martin remains the tailback. The give again to Martin. Touchdown, Boise State.
The commitment to running the football, Paul. If you just turn around and hand that ball off enough, that offensive line will eventually create some gaps. You have an elite running back like Doug Martin, positive things will start to happen.
With Kellen Moore playing okay instead of his usual terrific, Doug Martin has been excellent. 2-point conversion. And the Nevada special teams there to step it up. That was Doug Martin attempting to get the 2 and failing to do so. Doug Martin just scored the touchdown, though, and his Broncos lead 20-0. Coming up, it's the Geico Halftime Report. Liam McHugh is in our New York studios. He'll be joined by Doug Flutie and Roland Williams. They'll have all the scores and highlights from a busy day in college football. And they'll also preview tomorrow night's game. The Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets. Ought to be a great one on football night in America. We are 124 away from halftime. Failed 2-point conversion, and Boise State leads 20-0 after the Doug Martin touchdown run. Trevor Harmon to kick. Back deep for Nevada, Khalid Wooten and also Duke Williams. Wooten thought about it. Takes a knee from 4 yards deep.
So far in this first half, Paul, a series of unfortunate events for the Nevada offense. Against the number 4 team in the country, you just can't get away with some of the mistakes they've made. The ball handling in the backfield, not as clean as what we're used to seeing from the Chris Alt pistol. And of course, the Boise State defense takes advantage of that when you make those types of errors. Nevada's moved the ball, guys, but for some reason, up to this point in the season, the yardage has been there, but the points aren't coming on the board.
And Anthony, those kind of negative yardage plays, they just cripple you offensively. They get you behind the chains, and you mentioned it. If you allow this Boise defensive front to stay in 3rd and long, it's going to be a long night for Tyler Lantrip.
Tyler Lantrip with the give. And Corbin Laux around left end for 9 yards. Nevada offensively rushing the football very well coming into this game, top 10 nationally, but passing way down. The yardage there, but look at the difference between total offense and scoring offense. Sean King pointed that out at the top of the broadcast. Yards have come easy, the points have not. Tyler Lantrip right now struggling, only 3 for 11, 8 yards, and also an interception. Mike Ball, the tailback behind him, now inside of a minute. Lantrip keeps it himself and is stuffed, stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. Billy Wynn there.
This is a good play call. If you see, they're going to bring a corner cat off the edge. Quaylen Ewing Burton getting an opportunity to play today, does a good job of running the play down from behind.
And this Nevada offense appears to be content. Heading into the locker room trailing 20-0. Just going to let the final seconds tick off. And we are at zeros after the first half. 0 also on the side of the Nevada scoreboard as Boise State leading 20-0. Kellen Moore with a touchdown to DJ Harper. Also a touchdown pass to his wideout Matt Miller. And moments ago, Doug Martin with a touchdown run. Failed 2-point conversion, and Boise State, undefeated and 4th ranked, leads 20-0. Let's go down to Anthony Herron.
Chris, the passing game so far, not what we're used to seeing, but you guys have got that ground attack going. How happy are you offensively?
Not very. We need to do better for sure.
Defensively, pitching a shutout so far in this first half, your defensive front, as advertised so far, how do you keep that going in the second half?
Yeah, we just got to keep playing hard. You know, Nevada's, they'll stick to their plan, and they got a really good run game, and we know what they're going to do, and we just got to keep playing hard and rallying to the football.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Guys, we, of course, remember 17-point comeback in the second half from Nevada's last season.
Anthony, Coach, thank you. We're at halftime here at Broncos Stadium with the score Boise State leading 20-0. Plenty ahead. Stay tuned for the Geico halftime report. Now let's go to Leah McHugh in our New York studio. Unbeaten and 4th-ranked Boise State here at home with 33 consecutive wins at Broncos Stadium, 20-0 after the first half, and the Broncos will receive to begin the second half. Alan Hardison kicking off for the Wolfpack. Doug Martin from his own 6. Little room around that left side, out to the 36-yard line. And that's where Kellen Moore will begin here, Sean.
Very uncharacteristic first half for Boise quarterback Kellen Moore. Normally very efficient, normally very accurate, normally does not turn the football over. Had 105 attempts coming into the game with only 2 interceptions. Threw 2 interceptions in his first 23 attempts of this contest. I can't really pinpoint what the problem is, but for some reason he's not done a good job getting the football to open Boise receivers. I bet that changes in the second half.
12 out of 23, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a strong Doug Martin behind him, getting the first carry here of the second half, gain of 2. And Martin in the first half, 14 carries for 72 yards, and also 1 touchdown. Take a look at what Kellen Moore there did in the first half. For a while, he was hovering below 50%. He has never had a game in his career at Boise, ever. And he started since his freshman season where he finished under 50%. And right now, just a little above it at 12 for 23. This is 2nd down 9. Bumping to his left and setting up the screen to Doug Martin. That Nevada defense is there.
Really good job by Nevada linebacker Jeremiah Green, sniffing out the screen, making sure that Doug Martin did not get an opportunity to get behind his blockers. If you see Jeremiah is over on the left side, he's going to fight through a Boise block and make a very good tackle on Doug Martin.
James Michael Johnson also there, Nevada's active leader in tackles and also tackles for loss. It is now 3rd down and 8 Boise completed or converted 50% on third down in the first half. Off his back foot. Penalty marker is down. That pass is incomplete. Flag came raining in from the back end.
Holding on the defense. Number 23. 10-yard penalty. Down.
Nevada did a good job of getting pressure on Kellen Moore, of forcing him out of the pocket. But Thaddeus Brown is flagged for holding on. Matt Miller, if you see, makes an inside stem, and right there, when you grab that jersey, the official's going to call that all the time.
Matt Miller knew he had to deal with press coverage here today. That was a step beyond press there, Sean.
But I think Nevada has the right game plan defensively for this Boise offense. I would really get up on the line of scrimmage and challenge this receiving corps.
DJ Harper, the tailback behind Kellen Moore, now on 1st and 10. Play action. Kellen Moore looking deep, coming back underneath. And that's a heck of a catch. Well-thrown ball as well. And Mitch Burrows with the reception. Khalid Wooten with the coverage. Bronco gain of 8.
Very good coverage by Khalid Wooten. Mitch Burrows is going to run a stutter comeback. Actually falls at the top of his route, but look at the ball placement. That ball is towards the line of scrimmage, away from the defensive back, so he cannot make a play on the football.
And Sean, we've seen other spread offenses throughout the season that have just one personality. Boise State, the most impressive thing about them is that they can play at different tempos.
Doug Martin around left side, all kinds of room. Doug Martin cuts back, breaks the tackle, touchdown Broncos. Doug Martin's second touchdown run of the afternoon, this one from 43 yards.
Nevada defensive coordinator Andy Boo was concerned about the Boise motion and his defense ability to get a line. They don't get a line. They're -1 defender on that weak side of the formation. And that's all Doug Martin needs. If you give Doug Martin any crevice, any crease, he can turn it into a big run.
Broncos turn the cushion up to 27. Doug Martin, 2 touchdowns this afternoon, now over 100 yards. Boise's lead is 27. Doug Martin has 2 touchdown runs for Boise State moments ago, taking it in from 43 yards out. Kellen Moore has a pair of touchdown passes. And the 4th-ranked Broncos lead 27-0. 12:56 left in the 3rd quarter. This is Duke Williams from a yard deep. Late penalty marker in as Williams gets out to the 20-yard line.
In your return, holding, receiving team, number 43. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Nevada offense with only 50 total yards in the first half. With that thought, we go down to Anthony Herron.
We've seen Doug Martin take over on the offensive side of the football as Kellen Moore struggled a little bit, but this defensive front from the Broncos, they have been as advertised. Look at 92 right there, getting off blocks, getting involved in the run game, rushing the quarterback in the box, outside the box. The versatility of this group, Tyrone Crawford with the inside move. They have punished the Nevada quarterback so far.
This is Mike Ball. And that's Chase Logan. Chase Baker, number 97, with the tackle, loss of 5.
This has been a reoccurring theme throughout this ball game is Chase Baker's ability to get penetration into this Nevada backfield, disrupt any kind of a running game that Nevada's tried to sustain.
Passing game has not been there at all for Tyler Lantrip. In the first half, just 3 out of 11 for 8 yards, less than 1 yard per attempt. He also has 1 interception. Mike Ball remains the tailback here on 2nd down 15. Ball again cutting up in that Boise defense. Once again is there Shea McClellan, the senior, from his defensive end spot for a gain of 1.
As much as I talk about the multiple personalities of the Bronco offense, their defense has just as many personalities. We've seen them go 4-3. We've seen them go 3-4. We've seen Shea McClellan go back into the box in that joker position. But now, at 3rd and long, let's watch him here, folks. 92 coming off the edge. You might be about to see a show.
Nevada 1 for 9, converting 3rd downs in the first half. This is 3rd down and 14. Stepping up is Lantrip. Going down is Lantrip. Shea McClellan there once again. No gain.
This isn't a position that has always been in the Boise State defense. They pretty much created the pseudo-hybrid spot that McClellan plays up front for him. End, joker, tackle, linebacker. I'm right down here at field level. I saw him get chipped by that running back. I almost wanted to get involved in the pass rush game.
Anthony, I was going to say that was pure effort by McClellan. Nevada understood that's a mismatch for their left tackle. Joel Batonio brought the running back. It did not matter. McClellan still found a way to get to Tyler Lantry.
Jake Hurst barely got that one off, and in fact may have been tipped right off of his foot. That was his 8th punt of this game already. The Boise special teams unit right on him as he tried to get that one off.
That's why I don't like this shield punt formation that a lot of the colleges have gone to. Overall, it's still pretty effective. The reason you see teams do it is because it allows you more of a free release, but it makes it so much more difficult to actually protect the punter if you get a real rush.
Next Saturday, the Fighting Irish begin a stretch of 3 consecutive home games as Air Force flies into South Bend for the first time in 4 years. Notre Dame Saturday. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern only on NBC.
And Kellen Moore is under center for this first play. I would not be surprised if they play action pass and get very aggressive right here.
DJ Harper, the back, gets the football, moving that Nevada pile. Tackle made by Albert Rossetti. The Broncos pick up 6. DJ Harper was talented enough a couple of seasons ago that Doug Martin, now the starting tailback, he with a couple of touchdowns and over 100 yards today, was moved to linebacker. But DJ Harper had each of his last 2 seasons ended with torn knee ligaments and still contributing as a backup tailback. Already has a touchdown reception this afternoon. Play action. Kellen Moore. Can't throw the football any better than that to Dallas Burrows. Somehow fits it in there. There's a late flag down. Khalid Wooten with the coverage, gain of 13.
And Khalid Wooten is doing everything he can. When he's trying to be physical, he's grabbing jersey. You said it best, Paul. You can't throw the football any better than this. If you watch, Dallas at the top of that route does a good job of coming out. Look at that ball location right on the sideline. That has to be frustrating for a cornerback, because that's really good coverage by Khalid Wooten, but it's even better ball placement by Kellen Moore.
DJ Harper, the tailback, now on 1st and 10 from the 20. Harper with the ball around the right end, cutting it back up. Nevada defense is there. Duke Williams from his safety spot allows that gain to be only 3. The linebacker Jeremiah Green also there.
As I watch it from down here right at the line of scrimmage, guys, I'm seeing these blue jerseys advancing on the defensive front of the Wolfpack, much more so than I did throughout the majority of the first half. The line of scrimmage now more consistently moving in the favor of Boise State.
Second down, 6. Burrows in motion, play action fake. Moore wants to come back, does come back. Finds his tight end Kyle Efaw. Tackle made by Brandon Marshall, gain of only 2.
And Nevada is not very deep along that front 7, so they've played a lot of plays today. There has to be some fatigue factor starting to set in. Anthony mentioned that blue turf, how it just makes it even hotter than it is, and it's hot for an October day in Boise, Idaho.
And as I talked to the folks from Nevada during the pregame, they said they've had a warm September in the Reno area, so they were hoping to be prepared for this, but no matter how long you're out in the heat on a regular basis, when you get that Boise offense coming at you, you're going to get tired out.
3rd down and 4. Here come the Wolfpack. Moore chased out of the pocket. James Michael Johnson forcing Moore to release that one early.
And, Paul, I had mentioned earlier, if you're going to bring pressure against Kellen Moore, I think it's more effective if you bring it up the middle. James Michael Johnson comes straight up that A-gap, forces Kellen out of the pocket. You want to try and make Kellen make throws on the run.
At Boise State's very first field goal attempt of the season. This is Dan Goodale from 31 yards out. He is now 1 for 1. Dan Goodale makes good from 31 yards out. And the Broncos lead 30-0. Smile, Coach. Fourth-ranked Boise State Broncos have scored on 4 consecutive possessions. The lead now 30. Broncos 30, Wolfpack nothing. 8:23 left in the third quarter. Trevor Harmon to kick off for Boise State. Back deep, a couple of defensive backs for Nevada. Khalid Wooten and also Duke Williams. Khalid Wooten from 1 yard deep. Khalid Wooten out past the 30-yard line. Out to the 42. Excellent return for the Wolfpack. October 15th on the mountain. Mountain West football kicks off at noon Mountain Time when UNLV and Wyoming battle in Laramie. And at 4 o'clock, coverage moves to Fort Collins when Colorado State plays host to Boise State. Rebels Cowboys at noon. Broncos Rams at 4. October 15th, only on the mountain where the West is won. Nevada has not advanced the ball beyond its own 38. Well, thanks to that kickoff return from Khalid Wooten, they now have first down and 10 at the 41. Landtrip to Anderson. George Iloka there in a heartbeat. Incomplete. It'll be second down 10.
That is a long throw
For potentially a short game.
The risk reward on that throw to me is just not worth it. And very interesting. Can this Nevada offense, now that they finally have some breathing room, they have better field position, can they put a couple first downs together and get something going?
Tyler Landtrip right now just 3 out of 12 for 8 yards. Second down 10 with Mike Ball behind him. Shane Anderson in short motion. The fake to Anderson. Landtrip under pressure again, sidestepping Broncos and flipping it out to Rashard Matthews. Incomplete. Jamar Taylor with the coverage. We have a penalty marker on the 35-yard line.
Roughing the passer on the defense, number 90. Led with his helmet. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Number 90 is Billy Wynn.
And this is on Billy Wynn. And Tyler actually does a good job of avoiding the initial Boise defenders, but as he releases the football, Billy Wynn's going to come in just a little bit late and put that helmet right there under the chin strap. That never felt good as a former quarterback.
I'll tell you what, it feels good for Tyler Landtrip to set up shop inside of Boise territory. The Wolfpack right now scoreless at the 8:01 mark of the third quarter, trailing by 30. Mike Ball remains in at tailback. Ball with the carry. Nice gain out across the 40-yard line. Wolfpack gain of 5.
That's how their offense has been its most effective this season. The last 2 games where you've seen Mike Ball have 27 carries, upwards of the mid to upper 20s in carries, well over 100 yards in both of those contests. And their opener against Oregon, before he was the starting running back, only 14 carries, 99 yards. Didn't have nearly the offensive output in that contest.
Well, last week against Texas Tech, a strong outing, 27 carries for $139. Landtrip puts the ball on the turf. It's still on that blue turf, and the Broncos have it. Billy Wynn there to pounce on it.
The ball handling has left a lot to be desired. And Paul and Anthony, what you see right here is indecision. Tyler Landtrip cannot decide if he wants to pull the ball, if he wants to keep it or pitch it. And by the time he made up his mind, good play.
Ball stripped by
Boise
George
safety
Iloka.
George Iloka. And that has to just frustrate Chris Ault like no other. He mentioned to us before the game that he's been very frustrated with the inconsistency offensively, and that's what's really reared its ugly head today.
Ball given right back to Kellen Moore, and the star tailback of the day, Doug Martin, who already has 117 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Trying to add to that, fighting to stay on his feet, putting the shoulder down. Strong running by Doug Martin to pick up 6 yards. Tackle made by Kalen Burnett.
And I think this duo between Doug Martin and DJ Harper, if they're not the best duo right now, it's only because DJ Harper is still recovering from some knee injuries in the past, but they give you that 1-2 combo that you need.
Martin coming back, and the Nevada defense ready that time. Kalen Burnett is there. Red Roy is there, and a loss of 2.
I am now.
Anthony mentioned the combo of Doug Martin, DJ Harper. Right now 23 carries for 133 yards and contributing 3 touchdowns to the Boise effort. Doug Martin getting both scores on the ground. DJ Harper scoring the first touchdown of the day. Touchdown reception from Kellen Moore. Harper is the tailback to Moore's right. Moore looks right, comes back. The ball was batted, however, ends up in the hands of Matt Miller. Right at the first down sticks, a gain of 7. Khalid Wooten with the coverage.
Good concentration by Matt Miller. And Matt Miller's a very good story. Here's a kid that tore his Achilles heel last year, was not able to perform. He's back, even though the football is tipped, does a good job of maintaining focus and watching the football all the way in.
Matt Miller now has 5 receptions for 27 yards and 1 score today. It's now 1st and 10. Moore looking to his right, backpedaling and releasing Mitch Burrows. Oh my goodness. Sometimes when you realize you're that open, those are the toughest ones to come down with.
And everything that Boise does offensively is to set up something else. The motion guy comes. This is normally a quick screen. If you see the receiver there, they fake it. Burrows comes through. Wow. And that's his second drop today. And you watch him on tape, Mitch doesn't generally drop a lot of balls. First play of the game, he dropped a dig route thrown to him by Kellen. And offensively, they just have not been as efficient as they normally are, specifically in passing the football.
And Kellen Moore has had 4 passes dropped now, as he is 17 for 30. Well, that's the kind of play you work to set up, and the execution not there for Chris Peterson. However, his Broncos leading by 30 with 5:40 left in the 3rd. Well, we went to commercial break. I looked down, Sean, to check out my Kellen Moore stats. I looked back up, and the field was green. It's amazing what can happen at a break. Actually, that's just the guys in our truck having a little fun.
I thought maybe it was the sunshine that's just been beating down on all of us down here all day.
Anthony told us before the game, don't be complaining about the heat up there. Now there he is. DJ Harper is the tailback. 2nd down 10. Play action. Kellen Moore stepping up in the pocket and going down. Brett Roy with the sack. The WAC conference leader. Tackles for loss and sacks per game, loss of 1.
The Wolfpack defensive coaches, they said that they felt like their best pass rusher may have a mismatch inside. We've seen Brett Roy make a couple of plays earlier in the ball game, and he's not the most gifted pass rusher in the WAC, but he may be the most tenacious. A lot of his plays come on effort situations.
The very first time Kellen Moore has been sacked this season. The last sack prior to that in November in the loss to Nevada. Doug Martin, the tailback, 3rd down and 12. Kellen Moore firing quickly to Burrows. He catches this one, but the Wolfpack defense there to bring him down. Gain of only 4 on 3rd down and 12. Duke Williams with the tackle.
Got to respect the way that Nevada's played defense in this game, because the beautiful mind of Kellen Moore, he normally figures out a defense even if there's stretches in a ball game where they may struggle. But they found a way to still continue to give their offense some opportunities here.
Punt team on for the Broncos now on 4th and 8. Clock ticking. Right at 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Boise State to many. Kellen Moore now on the phone, getting some offensive things figured out. They really arrived on the national map, and again, to many people back in the 2007 Fiesta Bowl with the way they came back against Oklahoma, Sean. Not just the fact that they did, but the trick plays, the timing of them, the perseverance, and eventually the victory. Put the Broncos on the map nationally, not to Chris Peterson, but to many, many college football fans, that was a huge, huge night for the Boise State program.
That was an unbelievable college football program. And what really stood out in my mind is nationally, you still had not been exposed to Boise State at the time. So they were still the real underdog. They were the new kid on the block, and they came through.
Chris Peterson says to everyone who says that was the night you arrived, what have you been watching? We've been doing this for a while. Rashard Matthews, fair catch at the 15-yard line. Nevada defense continues to hold its own. We'll see if the offense can step up, trailing 30-0. Tyler Landtrip, the quarterback for this Nevada offense, looking to get something going, trailing 30-0. Up to this point, 36 plays and only 49 yards. Boise defense coming into this one, leading the Mountain West Conference in scoring D and looking the part, pitching a shutout. Mike Ball, nice job of staying on his feet. Tackle eventually made by Quaylen Ewing Burton after a gain of 5.
Mike Ball is still running the football aggressively for this Nevada offense. Did a good job of not being tackled with the initial contact. And right now, if you're Nevada offensively, you're looking for anything. You just need things to try and get something going.
Landtrip off the play action. Nice pocket there, stepping up. And wide open to Corbin Laux, who somehow got that free down the right side. By far the most positive offensive play for Nevada yet. Gain is 30.
And as you see, he runs like a little wheel route and just kind of gets lost in the crowd. And George Iloka doesn't get over quick enough. Big play Nevada offense.
Tyler Landtrip to Corbin Laux for 30 yards out to the 50. 1st and 10. Landtrip keeps it himself, finds a gap, spinning out to the 38-yard line. It's had to follow up a passing gain of 30 with a run play of 8 yards. Tackle made by Ewing Burton.
Tyler Landtrip is a more nimble guy than he probably even gives himself credit for. Normally when you watch him run this read option, there's opportunities for him to run the football, as I've seen so far this season watching this guy on film. He doesn't take advantage of the quick feet that he does have. He's not Cody Fajardo, their freshman backup, but he can gain some yards on the ground.
Second and short. Mike Ball does not get a first down, gain of 1. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Wolfpack offense.
And this is definitely 2-down territory for this Nevada offense. I would not be surprised if they try some kind of play action and try and get the football down the field to one of their wide receivers. It's been a while since we've mentioned Rashard Matthews, a standout Wolfpack wide receiver.
Now this is 3rd down and 1, but so far with that offense 1 for 10. 3rd down conversion opportunities. There's the run game. Just enough for a Wolfpack first down. Gain of 2. Tackle made by Byron Hout.
And think about it if you're Tyler Landtrip, where you're a senior quarterback who's been behind one of the most statistically spectacular quarterbacks college football's ever seen, and now you've finally gotten your opportunity to play. Even a moment like this, where you're down so big in a ball game, you know his blood's just boiling. He still wants to try to make plays here.
1st down and 10 from the 39. Faking the option, pulling up to fire. And that's an excellent catch by Rashard Matthews. Gain of 12, coverage provided by Jamar Taylor.
Good job of a right-handed quarterback in Tyler Landtrip, rolling to his left. Very good route by Rashard Matthews. If you watch, he continues to come back to his quarterback. As you hear the boos here in Boise. Does he get that foot down? From my vantage point, it looks like he was in bounds.
Looked like he was in bounds, yes. Every play is reviewed up in the booth, and this one, we do have a penalty marker down. George Iloka going to be tagged with a late hit on Tyler Landtrip as well.
False start on the offense. number 91. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, number 8. They enforce both fouls. First down.
And I'm not really sure how the message got scrambled for George, but he's coming on a corner blitz, but this play is blown dead right at the snap. This play has already been blown dead. George takes about 6 extra steps and hits the quarterback. Yeah, you can hear from that replay, the whistle blew a long time before George Iloka got to Tyler Lantry.
That's Stephon Jefferson spinning. It's Byron Hout there. No gain, Wolfpack. And another late flag.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, number 96. After distance of the ball, first down.
Number 96 is the senior defensive end, Jarrell Root.
And I know Chris Peterson talked about this game not being about revenge and them not wanting to get back at Nevada, but the game's getting a little chippy. These two teams have played so many times, there has to be a dislike between the two.
Boise opponents have only had 7 red zone possessions all season, and this is the very first of the day for Nevada. Mike Ball, the tailback, behind Tyler Lantry. Ball inside the 5-yard line to the 4. Gain of 4. Tackle made by Ewing Burton. 10 seconds now remaining in the third quarter. Wolfpack offense going to let those final seconds here of quarter number 3 tick off the clock. Wolfpack offense coming alive and knocking on the door. We've played 3. The 4th-ranked Broncos lead the Wolfpack 30-0. Three quarters in the books. The 4th-ranked and unbeaten Boise State Broncos leading 30-0, but Nevada knocking on the door here. Second down goal from the 4. Tyler Lantrup in the quarterback and Mike Ball at tailback. Stephon Jefferson also there. To the fade, Rashard Matthews. Intended receiver. Ball sails out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Even if the Bronco coaching staff, their players, if they're not viewing this as a revenge game, I can tell you from down here at field level, this crowd is electric right now, wanting a shutout. So if nothing else, at Bronco Stadium, Bronco faithful, they remember what happened last year.
Nevada with 111 total yards through 3 quarters, 81 coming on this drive. 9th play of the drive coming up, 3rd down and goal. Trey Session in motion. Mike Ball the tailback. Penalty marker down as Lantrup misses Anderson.
And he took a shot from Shea McClellan.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 moving, same time, not respected. Penalties declined. 4th down.
When they get in 3rd down situations, Boise likes to stand Shea McClellan up in different spots. And as a quarterback, that hurts. That does not feel good.
You feeling that one?
Tyler Lantrup has taken some shots today.
So Alan Hardison on to attempt to erase that big old 0 on the Nevada part of the scoreboard from 21 yards away. Right down the middle, and Nevada is on the board. Boise State leading 30-3. Top of the broadcast, we talked about Boise State tailback Doug Martin and the fact that the Nevada running game, the production way down, averaging just over 3 yards per carry. But he has 18 carries for $119 already, Sean.
And they wanted to establish more efficiency running the football. And I thought this was the perfect game to do it. Doug Martin has been outstanding. He had a very good game last year in Nevada's upset, rushing for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're very familiar with what Nevada tries to do to them defensively, and they did a good job today of exploiting it.
And he's had a lot of help from his the 10 other members of that huddle, but 125 total yards from the Boise tailback and 111 total for the entire Nevada Wolfpack.
Guys, it's so easy to appreciate the running style of a Doug Martin from down here as well, because you can really feel the collisions, the impact when he carries the football. He's not your standard jitterbug kind of guy. He's more of a bruiser. But like I said, he's nimble enough to be able to make people miss.
Doug Martin averaging over 6 yards per carry. 18 carries, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Both coming in the first, or one in the first half, one in the second. And Doug Martin, hey, he's back deep to receive. Martin from his own 4. Excellent piece of returning there. Some patience. Little burst at the end and a hop out to the 37. 32-yard return. College football on Versus continues next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern when Colorado heads to Stanford to take on Andrew Luck and the 6th-ranked Cardinal. Colorado, Stanford. College football on Versus. Every game means everything. You compare Andrew Luck to Kellen Moore. Sean, and what do you see?
You know, very interestingly, during the week, Paul, Andy Boo, who's the defensive coordinator now at Nevada, was actually at Stanford for a period with Andrew Luck, and he said Kellen Moore is a better decision maker than even the great Andrew Luck.
Kellen Moore right now 18 out of 31. Had the help of Doug Martin on this day. Out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 4. Tackle made by James Michael Johnson. Now, we realize it is the first day of October, so this list could change. But through September, Heisman hopeful quarterbacks. Robert Griffin has been unbelievable at Baylor. Andrew Luck has been just as good as expected. Kellen Moore said the same thing about him and Russell Wilson. Huge game coming up tonight at Camp Randall against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Who do you like best there?
I actually like Kellen Moore, and here's why, Paul. When you look at that list, it's very hard to envision Baylor going undefeated. They have some very difficult Big 12 opponents still to play.
That was Mitch Burrows for a gain of 2. Go ahead.
You look at Andrew Luck, it's hard to envision Stanford making it all the way through the Pac-10 this year unscathed. The same thing applies to the other quarterbacks. I'm drawing a blank on who it was, but Kellen Moore, you look at this schedule. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, his team may be the only undefeated team out of the top candidates.
We had Robert Griffin, Andrew Luck, Kellen Moore, and also Russell Wilson.
And even if Wisconsin runs the table, there's still that perception that Wisconsin is a run-first football team.
Kellen Moore firing out wide. Mitch Burrows once again. Khalid Wooten on the coverage. Gain is 5.
I think as we move forward during the season, Russell Wilson from Wisconsin is a guy that's going to be on enough stages with enough highly ranked opponents where he's going to continue to push his name towards the forefront of that Heisman discussion, especially when you factor in that Badger rushing attack. And as we've discussed throughout the season so far, guys, it takes so much pressure off of a quarterback when you can just get single high because they've got to walk another safety in the box. He's going to put up big numbers.
Doug Martin with the handoff once again. Now with 20 carries today, and Kellen Moore, as you just saw, that was a gain of 4. Kellen Moore now over 12,000 passing yards for his career, the most in Boise State history.
Well, what happens, Paul, is when you play for a football program that's known for producing elite running backs, known for running the football, do you think that works against you nationally? Because Anthony said it does create such a bland secondary look from week to week because people are so concerned with defending the run.
I will say that Scott Tolzien, the senior quarterback a year ago for Wisconsin, did win the Johnny Unitas Award for the top senior quarterback in the country, but there certainly was that perception that he was aided tremendously by the ground game. This is Doug Martin once again for a gain of 1.
I love the fact that Sean has described Kellen Moore as the best player in college football. I mean, I know Sean's been looking forward to watching today's game for weeks now as we've discussed it. And the thing that's so great about Kellen Moore is that he's put up career highs through the first few weeks of the season, you know, when you're discounting today's game a bit, but the first 3 weeks was his best start so far throughout his career. A guy who started since his freshman year for such an offensive-minded program to have career highs in all these different categories is astounding.
Yeah, off to his best start ever in those categories you're talking about: quarterback rating, yards, touchdowns, and completions. Just getting that play off. And he wanted to go to Matt Miller. He did go to Matt Miller. Matt Miller not expecting the ball quite that early.
That's a timing route. That's a skinny post. That's a catch and throw from the shotgun. Kellen Moore just a little bit behind Matt Miller. If you see this ball should be thrown somewhere in this area right there, Kellen's a little bit behind him. It results in an incompletion.
Brad Elkin on once again.
And Anthony, thanks for bringing up that I said Kellen was the best player in college football. He really has not backed me up today.
It's only one game.
We've got enough tangible evidence from Kellen Moore over the last 4 seasons where I think you can still make a pretty good case. I'll back you up on that.
And he's
one,
been solid, 19 to 34, a few drops, a couple of touchdowns, also 2 interceptions. Not his best work, but he's been fine.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Delay a game, they'll march it back 5 more yards. And Brad Elkin will take a shot again.
I think the shock value of Kellen Moore just occasionally missing an open receiver, I think that just supports how great this guy has been throughout his Bronco career. As much as sitting down and talking to Chris Peterson, they're a bit of a candid bunch here in Boise, and it was great to watch them practice on Thursday. It was a rare opportunity that we got, but he did light up a bit as we asked him about Kellen in his freshman year. And just the way he got beat up in different football games. And he knew he had something special, watching him take a pounding and just keep on ticking.
He talked specifically about that 3rd game versus Oregon.
Nice job by Brad Elkin. Came into this game with 14 punts down inside the 20. We do have a penalty marker down on the 40-yard line. Second play in a row with a penalty.
Legal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
A legal shift will negate an excellent job by Brad Elkin. Had that one pinned inside the 10-yard line. 2 penalties in a row in special teams. Any coach in the country will wear that face.
Kind of a sloppy performance today by Boise. You know, offensively, they've missed some opportunities to make some big plays. Defensively, they've had some personal fouls, some late hits, been kind of chippy. And the special teams, even though Doug Martin's been very good in the return game, has had their issues as well.
7 penalties so far at this early point of the 4th quarter for Boise State. Elkin going to get the help of a friendly little bounce. The punt is 44 yards. And the lead of the Boise State Broncos is 27. College football on Versus is presented by Foster's Australian for Beer and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And we have a change at quarterback for Nevada. Mason Magleby, the freshman. No carries, no passes. So he's not a freshman. This is his first appearance. And that's a freshman sort of play for the junior. Mason Magleby on his first play out to the 20-yard line, gain of 4. J.C. Percy with the tackle. And Tyler Landtrip failed to move this offense, Anthony, so now we get a look at the junior.
And this is not how you draw it up as your first play at quarterback, but a good job by making the catch and then making something positive happen.
Mason Magleby out of Loomis, California, Del Oro High School. 6'2", 205 pounds. Keeps it himself. Loss of 1. Jarrell Root there from his defensive end spot. Magleby, normally the third-string quarterback, the talented Cody Fajardo. Injured non-throwing shoulder, couldn't go today. Mason Magleby playing for the first time of his career. Third down 7. Broncos bring 5. They get to Magleby. Shea McClellan, the blitzer. Loss of 8.
This defensive front from Boise, they're basically pulling a Satchel Paige in today's ball game. They said linebackers, defensive backs, you can have a seat. We're going to take care of it up front, and they have done that all day long.
And they get very creative with Shea McClellan on third down. You've got to identify where he's at and set your pass protection based upon 92.
Jake Hurst back to punt for the 9th time this afternoon. Mitch Burrows lets it bounce. Now we do have a penalty marker on the goal line.
Hit the plant leg. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Chris Peterson is going to be very disappointed in George Iloka. He's going to get a roughing the punter. You see he comes in late, ends up at the feet. On top of the roughing the passer he got for hitting Tyler Landrum after the whistle. A couple very uncharacteristic plays for the starting safety from Boise.
So Mason Magleby will come right back on the field for his second, or to lead his second career possession here for Nevada. Tyler Landrum taking a seat after going 5 for 17, 50 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Mike Ball remains the tailback behind Magleby.
And here's McClellan. You better account for him.
Magleby keeps it himself, and down he goes. From his end position, that's Tyrone Crawford, lost to 3.
Good job by Boise of recognizing that they have a new quarterback. It's very unlikely that he's going to throw the football, especially on first and second down. So you can anticipate this Boise defensive line being more aggressive even than they were earlier in today's ball game.
Tyrone Crawford coming in with 3.5 tackles for loss. Honorable mention, All-American last year by Sports Illustrated, even though he didn't start a game. Second down, 13. It's good timing for the young quarterback. Out to Rashard Matthews. Magleby letting that one go early, showing good anticipation. The coverage provided by Quaylen Ewing-Burton. The gain is 7.
That's what you'd like to see as you're evaluating a young quarterback, because this program is going to have to continue to move forward. They anticipate Cody Fajardo is going to be back in the lineup pretty soon, but Mason Magleby, whether or not he can be a guy who tries to vie for the starting quarterback position moving forward, this is an audition for him. Every rep you can get, you want to capitalize.
Third down and 6. Against the blitz, setting up the screen to Ball. Broke 1 tackle. Not enough to pick up the first down. The gain is 2. J.C. Percy with the tackle.
Boise defensively is so well coached. They understand down and distance. They recognize they have an inexperienced young quarterback who's not played a lot. Definitely be aware of that screen pass on those third down situations. Good job of rallying to the football.
Boise defense steps up one more time. Stops Magleby again, and Jake Hurst is back on to punt. Last time he was roughed for 15 yards, giving the ball back to the offense. This punt is off, and it is a good one. Landed out of bounds as Mitch Burrows just let it land. Boise offense will begin inside its own 10. Chris Peterson's 4th-ranked Broncos lead 30-3. Time to take a look at the Buffalo Wild Wings game reset, a game that Boise State leading 30-3. Kellen Moore, not his best game, but he was fine. 19 out of 34, a couple of touchdowns, also 2 interceptions. He is now over 12,000 yards in his career. And Doug Martin, the real star, the tailback, 126 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. We have a change of quarterback. We'll tell you about here in a moment, as Doug Martin continues his huge afternoon. Doug Martin in a foot race for the end zone across the stripe. We do have a penalty marker on the play.
Unfortunately for the Boise State home crowd here, this one's going to be called back for offensive holding.
Holding on the offense, number 87. After distance to the goal. First down.
Number 87 is Gabe Linehan, the tight end.
Gabe Linehan is in motion. He's trying to seal the edge. Don't know about that one.
We were told by this coaching staff that there's a certain degree where they were resting Doug Martin a bit, not wanting to use him up too early in the season. Starting to see that additional gear that's maybe been missing a bit.
Hey, Doug Martin already had 126 yards. Rushing would have been well over 200 and 3 touchdowns without that hold from Gabe Linehan, but it all comes back. And the quarterback change, Kellen Moore takes a seat. Joe Southwick, number 16, the sophomore, who was 6 out of 8 this season, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 6 carries for 14 yards. Joe Southwick making his first appearance here today. More positive yardage for this Boise State run game. DJ Harper around the left side, gain of 16, tackle made by Charles Garrett.
And Paul, Thursday we got the opportunity to watch Boise practice. Anthony alluded to it earlier. Joe Southwick can really throw the football. I was very impressed by the velocity and the accuracy with which he threw the football.
First down and 10, clock ticking, approaching the 6-minute, 10-second mark. From the 20-yard line, Joe Southwick, the sophomore quarterback. Pounding it underneath, another Boise first down. That is the brother of Kellen Moore, Kirby Moore, for a gain of 20. Late flag.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Impressive play by Joe Southwick, the sophomore quarterback. One thing you want your quarterback to do is be able to recognize pressure, understood where the pressure was coming from, saw that Kirby Moore was going to be the open receiver, made a nice catchable pass. Good job by Kirby after the catch of getting more positive yardage for this Boise offense.
Kirby Moore came into this one, 8 catches, 75 yards, and that one good for 20. Boise now operating in Nevada territory. Another.
All start on the offense, number 80, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now 10 penalties for Chris Peterson's Broncos. Might be a coaching point this week, maybe.
From our conversation with Chris yesterday, I don't think he'll be too satisfied. Even though they're winning, he'll take the win, but there probably could be some corrections occurring at this Boise facility tomorrow.
One of the most interesting things I found from practice the other day was they had the players in even more of a game situation than you would normally practice on a Thursday. They even went to halftime where he had the 2 deep into the locker room just to try and simulate that atmosphere that they're going to be in throughout the rest of the season on Saturdays.
DJ Harper cutting back, and that is no gain. Precision has a lot to do with this Boise State program, and that is correct. 7:47 in the morning, the Broncos out here. This is this morning. It's game day. Not even 8 o'clock yet. Chris Peterson carried his coffee around. A little bit of yawning. Kellen Moore, his usual laid-back self, just wanted to go through a little final walkthrough on game day. Make sure the guys are up early.
I had a chance to talk to Titus Young, who's now with the Detroit Lions. He's a second-round draft pick for them, and I asked him about Chris Peterson, and he laughed about Coach Pete, as he called him, bringing his own swag here to Boise, and he said the way he meant it was bringing the efficiency, the effectiveness, really trying to hone in on the finer points of being a football player and being a man. And Titus Young is a guy who spent a bit of time in Chris Peterson's doghouse, but he said it's made him a better individual as he moved forward at this point.
Doug Martin with a reception. Duke Williams tackle for a loss of 2. Most wins since 2006. Top of the list. Chris Peterson leading the way. ahead of Gary Patterson, Bob Stoops, Frank Beamer, and Les Miles. Nobody has done it better. When you look at just raw wins and losses, and Chris Peterson here at Boise since 2006.
And the top 2 guys on that list are both head coaches in the Mountain West Conference.
DJ Harper, the tailback here on 3rd down and 17. Just getting rid of it, and that ball is intercepted. Isaiah Fry, touchdown Wolfpack. And there is, say it with me, penalty marker on the field, actually 2 of them.
There's 2 fouls against the defense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on a defense, number 52. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, number 52. Hit the quarterback in the face mask. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
This was a rough sequence of plays for Joe Southwick. He throws an interception. That's bad enough as a backup coming in the game. Gets hit in the face mask. Now watch as he gets up to go and run and try and make the tackle on Isaiah Fry.
Oh.
The first thing they teach you when you become the quarterback that's actually in the game is when you throw an interception,
look out.
Look out.
Those guys' eyes light up. That's James Michael Johnson. Flagged for that contact. And instead of an Isaiah Fry pick 6 from 50 yards out, it's 1st down and 10, Boise State.
I must admit, I've done that a time or 2, guys. If we're going to have a little confessional here, I've been guilty of that.
Were you flagged for it?
Occasionally.
DJ Harper, the tailback.
Anthony, I'll say this. I've thrown my fair share of interceptions. I have absolutely no tackles.
Gain of 5. Boise State inching its way to a 4-0 record. Right now ranked number 4. And here's what the Broncos have coming up. At Fresno State, that's a Friday night game. This coming up Friday night. That'll be a good one. Then Boise State begins Mountain West Conference play at Colorado State. We look forward to coming back here to see them play Air Force. We'll also be back for the big game against TCU that 2nd Saturday in November. DJ Harper once again. Loss of 1.
One of the other nuggets I got from Titus Young earlier in the week is he was a guy who was recruited by several of the Pac-12 universities. He was a pretty big recruit. And he said at the point where he was coming out of high school, as opposed to going to one of the other major universities, one of the more nationally renowned programs, he decided to come to Boise State because he wanted to win. And he said it was that simple. They had proven themselves at that point as a winning program, and he really appreciated what Chris Peterson was doing as a head coach. He said he came here because he wanted an opportunity at victory every Saturday out. And there's been 10 straight senior classes here for Boise State that have won 40 games or more.
3rd down and 6. Working the option to DJ Harper, leaping, but leaping out of bounds. Tackle made by James Michael Johnson, gain of 2. Chris Peterson telling us on Friday, he tells recruits it's different here. Having a bad day is not okay at this place. We're going to be relentless in coaching you in a positive way, but it'll be the hardest thing you ever do if you do choose to come here.
I think when you hear the guys that have already gone through the program who've left, they all have good things to say about Chris Peterson, and I think that's the most telling point.
Well, he's going for it here on 4th down and 2. Option again to DJ Harper, cutting back. And that is no gain. Brett Roy there to finish him off. Nevada offense back on the field. Boise State by 27. Boise State Broncos ranked 4th, leading 30-3, moving toward a 34th consecutive win here at Bronco Stadium. 1:39 left. It's 30-3. Mike Ball, the tailback. Magleby again at quarterback, keeps it himself out to the 35-yard line before he's run out of bounds. Run out of bounds by Ewing Burton after a gain of 6. Nevada, thankfully for the Wolfpack fans, going to head home. No home games in September. Haven't been home yet. The first one coming up against UNLV on October 8th. Wolfpack going to return home with a 1-3 record after going 13-1 a year ago. Magleby to the air. Rashard Matthews comes down with it.
And that's a dangerous throw.
A gain of 12. Yeah, that was almost 6 the other way.
Jamar Taylor probably is trying to figure out how he didn't end up with that football.
Tackle eventually made by Hunter White. First down, Nevada. 1:27 left. Magleby keeps it himself. Loss of 1. You get the feeling that this Nevada offense is just waiting for the opportunity to turn the reins over to Cody Fajardo. Couldn't play today with the injured left shoulder, but a lot of excitement about that young man inside the program.
Well, there's a sense of loyalty to Tyler Lantrip, a kid who's been there, 23 years old, has already graduated. He waited his turn behind Colin, but I think Fajardo and his skill set fit what Chris Ault is looking for.
Magleby to Rashard Matthews. This will be a touchdown. Wolfpack, 52 yards out.
However, if Mason proves that he can do that on a regular basis, he may be in the conversation for quarterback here at Nevada as they move forward. Also, good job by Matthews here. He's going to run a slant route. Look at the ball placement in between 3 Boise defenders. High level of difficulty on that throw. Mason made it look very easy.
Mason Magleby with his first touchdown pass of his college career to Rashard Matthews, who now has 2 touchdowns this season. Nevada scores its first touchdown of the day. Mason Magleby to Rashard Matthews. It's 30-10. Mason Magleby to Rashard Matthews. Touchdown Nevada, and it's now 30-10 inside 1 minute left here at Bronco Stadium. Boise State moving its way to a 34th consecutive win here at home. Alan Hardison set to kick off for Nevada. Back deep, Doug Martin. No rest today for the star of this Boise State offense, playing special teams here at the end of the game too. And playing it pretty well out across the 30-yard line. Now, Boise defense not so good on that last play, but allowed only 182 total yards today. Had 12 tackles for loss and also forced 2 turnovers. It's a good day's work for Chris Peterson's defense.
They've been in that Nevada backfield throughout this entire ball game. That front 7 came in and really dictated the tempo. They controlled the line of scrimmage, really made it difficult for Nevada to get anything going offensively.
Still in at quarterback, Joe Southwick for Boise State. Every quarterback's favorite formation in play, just take a knee and let that clock run.
The old victory play.
That'll be the final play as Boise State going to walk off the blue turf with a 30-10 win over Nevada. Kellen Moore, 19 out of 34, a couple of touchdowns, also 2 interceptions. Doug Martin, 126 rushing yards to go along with 2 touchdowns. And the Boise State defense coming up big until the final moments of the game, keeping Nevada out of the end zone. Broncos improved to 4-0 in the season. 4th-ranked team right now. We'll see if that changes after the weekend. Chris Ault's Wolfpack falling to 1-3 now with tough losses to Oregon, Texas Tech, and Boise State. And here's our Anthony Herron with Boise State head coach Chris Peterson.
Chris, you guys have set such a high standard here. I know your expectations are high, but another victory for you guys, a big one. How do you assess the team's performance today?
First, we are happy with the victory without question. Nevada's a great program. Chris Hall does an unbelievable job. We all know that. So for us to get any victory against Nevada, we're happy. We're work in progress. There's a lot of things that we can control. Penalties, some missed assignments, some really controllable things that we'll get on right away.
Last season's game was such a big story. I've played the game, Coach. I mean, I know that the emotional part of it is so key. Was there any element, if not for you guys as coaches, for the players of wanting to earn that back?
No. I think what it is we have a lot of respect for that program. We know they're going to play hard, and we know we're going to have to play at a high level to win, and that's really all it is.
All right, congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
Paul?
All right, Chris and Anthony, thank you very much. Let's check out the Foster's game stats and the Boise State defense there, Sean King. Really excellent from start to finish. Anytime you hold an opponent under 200 total yards, that's doing something.
Especially a team that came into the game averaging 285 yards a game rushing. To hold them to only 59 is pretty impressive by this Boise defense.
Two stars of the Boise State offense, Kellen Moore, the senior quarterback, and Doug Martin, who scored a couple of touchdowns. Joined on the field with Doug Martin and also Kellen Moore with Anthony Herron.
The two stars of today's game, of the entire program, really. And let's start with Doug, because the ground game hasn't been at the level that we've gotten used to throughout the years of this Boise State offense. How did you guys get it going today?
You know, today I thought the line did a good job, as well as the receivers, blocking downfield. You know, we have to pick it up, and we knew that we had to pick it up. So, you know, still things got to work out, so we're going to work on that during practice.
And your coaches alluded to maybe getting you going a little slowly, maybe resting you a bit to make sure you're ready for conference schedule. How does your body feel at this point?
No, my body feels fine. You know, it all comes with, you know, just making sure that you take care of your body during practice and after practice. So.
Thanks a lot, Doug.
Thank you.
And going over to everyone's All-American, Kellen Moore. A little bit of an uncharacteristic, especially first half for you. Don't normally see you miss any open wide receivers. Why did it take you guys a bit to get started in the passing game?
Yeah, it wasn't as pretty as we'd like it to be. Certainly there's some things, you know, we got to learn from, get, you know, examples of what not to do, and, you know, it'll come with practice, get better, improve on these things, and move forward.
And we know you as a soft-spoken guy, quiet, but everyone talks about the coaching instincts that you have. What do you need to do with this team, and how are you going to treat this in practice this week to continue to improve?
Yeah, we just need to continue to execute throughout a drive. You know, certainly it's easy when drives are 2-3 plays, but, you know, when those things drag along, you got to continue to get first downs and move it down the field.
It was fun on the sidelines today, guys, watching Kellen Moore push his teammates.
Kellen, Anthony, thank you very much. The final score, Boise State 30, Nevada 10. 34th consecutive home win for the Broncos. Now we go to Liam McHugh in our New York studio. So long from Boise.